Wow, it's really easy to forget about those out there who don't want to spend $600, $500, $400, $300. You want to spend $200 or less. Well, the Revvl 5 Plus 5G is a phone I grabbed a while back when it first launched. I want to give you a follow-up video on it for those that are still looking to get into a device that is affordable. And this is the front camera on the Revvl. Alright guys, welcome back to another video. It's your man Jay. So yes, I still have this phone. Yeah, it's a great backup phone too. So this is the T-Mobile Revvl 5 Plus 5G. This launched, I think, back in July is when I got it. And I bought it at launch. And remember I did a trade-in with an old flip phone and I got this phone for free. And I think that's just one of the best deals that I had taken on T-Mobile. I also got the OnePlus Nord for free as well with a trade-in on with another flip phone. And these deals was just too good to be true. So it is really free. So I want to follow up on this phone right here in particular because there's a lot of hype going on right now with phones that cost a heck of a lot more. And some people probably aren't interested in spending that kind of money. So you still have phones like this that are available. This phone has a 6.82-inch display with 4 gigs of RAM and the Dimensity 700 5G by MediaTek. And this device is fast, man. It's proven to be a very nice device, and it is a worthy device to have a follow-up because it's offering some pretty decent specs. Pretty much the same performance, if not a little bit better on this one than the OnePlus Nord N200 that I got over there. This is very smooth and the performance is really, really good. It has 64 gigs onboard storage, but you can actually do an SD card up to 2 terabytes on here. And that is just really nice. And again, it's got 4 gigs of RAM with that processor. And you have a 16 megapixel wide, a 5 megapixel ultra wide, and a 2 megapixel depth sensor, basically is what it's going to be. And this phone does record in 1440p, believe it or not, with the camera. And I'm going to show you here. It only does it in 30 frames per second, but still, it does it. So when you switch to 30 frames per second, you can record in 2K. I just think that's fantastic, man. With this being a 720p display, it's weird. Or you can go full screen at 2460 by 1080, what you're recording. But if you want to do 60 frames per second, you have to switch it out of that mode. And then those options go away, and then you just get 1440 by 1440, or you get 1080p at 60 frames per second. So really nice. I think it's just a really nice option on the camera, man. So it's strange though, but it's really nice. And as you can see, the camera, it had HDR for photos and things like that. So really nice setup here. And again, we're talking to people who got this phone for free on a trade or got it free somehow, or you only spent the $200 for it because it is on Android 11. And the software is a little, it's behind on the software. I think I'm still on the June security patch, but again, people buying this phone probably are not concerned about security patches, and if it gets one, it gets one. And that's pretty much what it is, but this phone will perform well. It's going to perform fine for you guys. So software is a stock software experience, stock Android experience, and again, it's on Android 11. So this is going to be good. So I'm gonna just stand right here and take some photos in the office, or just kind of shoot some photos of things probably to show you the cameras again. But overall, I just want to do a really quick video on this thing because, man, hardware is still just the one on here. I like these flat sides, and when you think about what you're getting by today's standards, this is actually a premium feeling device. You've got a fingerprint reader and the power button right there, which is extremely accurate. You can't go wrong with that. No fingerprint issues here. And then you have a bottom firing speaker Type C, and you have a headphone jack. So this is important. And it's weird because this hardware is actually really good, and this phone is actually enough. The weakest point of this phone for me is just going to be the cameras. The cameras are good in daylight setting, but overall, this is in a lower light setting like this, it's not going to be the best. But this hardware is really solid. Remember, I was trying to take the back off, and this is actually a part of the back, this frosted back. Just things like that, man, are just really, really solid. And then you got this big, beautiful display. Let me fire up a video I had fired up here. I want to play it for you. And I let the screen auto adjust the brightness on its own, but I can crank the brightness up too, all the way up. Look at how beautiful. It's probably hard to see on camera, but this is a very bright, big 6.82 inch display. It's absolutely gorgeous, man. So I'm gonna scan backwards here and get some of the video footage from the waterfall and everything. Look at this footage. This is actually really, really solid footage. Viewing angles on this phone are fantastic. So if you have the T-Mobile Revvl 5 Plus 5G, yes, it's a very big phone, but this is a powerhouse device, man. Compared to, and again, I hate to reference this, but the Nord N200, it's not really as good in performance as other OnePlus devices because it's sluggish and it just feels weird that that's a OnePlus device and it doesn't have the signature vibrates mute switch like OnePlus devices has. So it's strange, but this is an absolute fantastic screen, folks, and you're gonna love this. You're gonna love this display when watching content. And again, for me, the weakest part of this phone was the cameras. But again, you think about my camera footage on the channel and the phones, how hard I am and what I expect in a phone. So that means that this is actually acceptable because the footage on here is definitely not bad. You've got the ultra wide. It's really nice. So, I mean, photos come out good. You've got a live focus is what they're calling it, but it's pretty much a portrait video. And you got more modes on here. Panorama, Pro, slow motion. It's weird having that on you even got night shot. And it's weird having these functions on an actual $200 phone. So it lets you know that, and again, with the 5,000 milliamp hour battery, I don't even have to talk about battery because battery on this was fantastic when I was using it regularly. Because I had shuffled my SIM cards, and this kind of made it to the third SIM slot. Say that fast, SIM slot. And then I had to start shuffling even more because of the phones I was getting in for review. So I hadn't really touched this phone in quite some time, man. And I felt like, you know what, I got to whip this back out again because sometimes when I go to events, I tell you all the time, I put my SIM card in a phone that I don't care what happens to it. Now, that doesn't mean this phone is, because this is someone's daily driver. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying this is like a chump phone or a peasant phone and it's not worthy to be used daily. But, this was a phone that I got for free. Basically, it would have been $200 if I would have paid for it. And it still would have been in that same category of this is a great backup phone for a person like me. But if I had to use this as a regular, you can trust and believe I would. You know what I mean? Because phones like this go to events. They go to concerts, when there used to be concerts, or just anywhere public that I might, bump into somebody or, it might get hit and dropped on the floor and cracked. And I won't feel so bad afterwards because it was $200. And if I want another one, I can get it again. So some high points of this phone right here is, man, NFC, voice over LTE, 5G. You know what I mean? It's got 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi. And I just think that's really good. And also with the 2 terabyte SD card slot, it's great, man. You get fast charging at 18 watts. You know what I'm saying? That's at least you get a charger in the box. Some phones don't even have a charger in the box. So that's saying a lot, man. It really is. So let me get my rag out here. My microfiber cloth. Get yourself a really good microfiber cloth, folks, when you're going to be touching your devices and wiping them down. Get a nice one. This screen is just, it's beautiful, man. I love it. And the back is really what I want to just shine up for you guys, because I want you to see how beautiful this design is. That's a beautiful design, and I just think it's really, really nice. So I wanted to follow up on here. I love the magenta power button too. I think that's just dope. But I wanted to follow up on here, man, and let you know that if you have this phone, man, you're still awesome. You may not see me, doing a lot of current videos on it, but let me tell you, you're still awesome. This phone is still awesome. This phone is still a very worthy competitor based on today's standards. Yeah, it doesn't compete when it comes to high-powered cameras, but it competes with price and then performance and then daily use, and you get a big screen, you get a big battery. It's just really good. So there it is. A nice little follow-up for you guys who have the Revvl 5 Revvl 5 Plus 5G. Gosh, that's a serious tongue twister. But I still like this phone, man. Like I said, it's got features that some you know, high-end phones or big dogs just don't have. It's your man Jay. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.